Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Locked On Flames. The Flames are back in the win column after beating the Panthers 5-1 in front of the Flames' home crowd. I have to eat my words when it comes to yesterday's episode and the third pairing, and Sean Monahan showed us just what this team has been missing.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and I'm your host, Jess Belmosto of the Metropolitan Riveters Public Relations team. I've been covering the NHL for years now, and I hope you're having a good day today. Thanks for making Locked On Flames your first listen of the day. You can find Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, and obviously for free, and you can find us on YouTube as well. We are free 99 on YouTube. The Flames snapped a 4-game losing streak last night by playing at 100% for a full 60 minutes. I know it almost sounds fake. It probably sounds like I'm trying to sell you like some sort of like magic diet pill or something. Like I swear it's the same person in both before and after pictures. No, like the Flames, I said yesterday on the show that the Flames needed to at least come out, play at 100% in the first period, and crank it up the rest of the way through. They cannot fall below 100%, really. And they did just that. They really showed just how good of a team they are, and that they have the capability of being. Every single line had a strong, fast, solid first shift. I was so impressed. I didn't recognize the team that was out there. I thought that I don't even know. They look like a completely different team than what we had seen in the last few games. And Rasmus Anderson had his first goal of the season to kick us off on the power play, and that was his first goal in 56 shots. Huge chip off of his shoulder and gave the Flames some momentum that they needed, because they perform much better when they take that early lead and they can build on some momentum. Blake Coleman, I talked about that second line yesterday, and I drilled it into you guys, and I drilled it into my Twitter followers that second line was going to be crucial to yesterday's game. And were they crucial? 150%. Blake Coleman had his third goal in his last 5 games. Absolutely fantastic performance from him all around. And Mangiapane, just really strong defensive and offensive performances. Mangiapane did have a really nice breakaway in the third period, and unfortunately just, couldn't capitalize on it. Spencer Knight was a little too quick for him, but Michael Backlund had the assist on Coleman's goal, and that was his 14th point in 16 games. That's what I mean when I say that Backlund flies under the radar, because I didn't know that until I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, wow, like I that doesn't sound right, but it is. He doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, and for him to be playing at that second line center, it's pretty well deserved. And I want to like kiss the second line, like just not like the players, but just be like chef's kiss. They were so good. I I thought they were the starters. They were the starters. Sutter sent them out as his starters, and that was the best decision he made, because they just were fantastic. And I think that their energy and the pace that they brought set the tone for the game, and there was no other way around it. They were going to win this game, whether it be a 2-1 battle or a 5-1 battle. The Flames were going to come out on top. And Sean Monahan, I saw like vintage 2017 Sean Monahan out there, and this man was doing it all last night. He looked good. Like, even if he hadn't scored the 2 goals, I still think that he would have been like one of the stars of the game for how strong of a performance he had. He was clean with the puck. He had that strong hand-eye coordination. He was playing well. And it is some of the best hockey we've seen from him all season, and clearly since, I can't even say last season because he had a busted hip all last season. So, I think literally since 2020, and that's a long time. And Gaudreau, Johnny and Monty were back, and I was so happy and so excited because watching those 2 play together when I first started covering this team was so exciting, and I think watching those 2 just, Johnny had 4 points, and I'm pretty sure 2 of the assists came from Monahan's goal, and I'm so happy to see this team playing the hockey that we know that they're capable of doing against really good teams. There was that glimmer of hope. They gave us that tiny flash of hope even before yesterday's game, and because of the Flames. This is just Flames hockey. And I'm just I don't like I'm speechless because, and you guys know I like to talk. So I just was so impressed and blown away by how well the entire team played. Gaudreau had 4 points, like I said, and this was his first 4-point night since March of 2019. That is a very long time ago, which is so sad to think about. But I really think that this is some of the best hockey that he has ever played, and we can't take that for granted. We just can't. And I think, it is a contract year, so I think it's kind of easy to just kind of brush it under the rug and say, you know what, he's leaving. Like, like a lot of us kind of came to terms with that last season, but I don't know. I, I don't know. It makes me really excited, and I just hope that we can't even talk about contracts because I'm gonna get upset because I don't want to think about the Flames losing Gaudreau. I can't do it. So we will talk about that in a later episode. But first, let's talk about Built Bar. Built Bar is a delicious tasting protein bar that will get you through your day the way that the Flames cranked through 3 periods of hockey last night. They have delicious flavors and variety packs, and it's impossible for you not to find something that you like that you don't like. You'll like something. Built Bar is just a delicious tasting protein bar. It tastes like a candy bar. It doesn't have that weird gritty sandpapery taste to it like other protein bars have. It genuinely tastes like a candy bar, and you can get your order for 15% off. All you have to do is go to built.com and use promo code locked15. Simple as that. I mean, I would say I could do it blindfolded, but I don't know how to do that. But head on over to built.com today and use promo code locked15 for 15% off of your next purchase. Thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Flames. I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. If you are watching on YouTube, it just flashed across the screen. And if you're not watching on YouTube, it's Jess Belmosto. I have to eat my words. Speaking of snacks, and when it comes to that third pairing, last night they played pretty well. I talked about how the second line was going to play better defense and stronger defense than your third pairing, and I was wrong. I was very wrong. Gudbrandson and Zadorov both looked really good last night, and not in just like a, oh yeah, they stopped the puck, but they were strong skaters. They were not taking avoidable penalties. They just were pushing through like everyone else at the same level, the same competitiveness. And Gudbranson looked fantastic on the penalty kill. Like, I never thought I would say that, but he had a very strong penalty kill shift in the first period. That penalty kill was spent in the Panthers' offensive zone like the entire time. And it was brutal. Like he ended up like diving at a really good defensive play where he blocked a shot and he dove and stopped the puck. Like he was not messing around. And I thought that it was just a strong performance from him. And I want to believe that this is something that is here to stay or something that becomes more of a regular appearance. I'm happy to eat these words. Like I said earlier this week, we don't hope for downfalls here. We only have one downfall that we root for, and that is the organization in Chicago. And uh, Gudbrandson said it himself. The next step for this pairing to take is to get better. He knows that they have some work to do. So when you have to really push yourself to be better and to compete with your teammates and your opponents, you know, it's a little bit of a challenge, but they really stepped it up last night. And it's not anything that I can, complain about. I think that, they battled against the best team in the league. And I don't believe that Sam Bennett's goal was when they were on the ice. So I just really think that they held their weight. They stood their ground, they held their weight, and they didn't lose like any confidence. I know it's easy to kind of like have that gas, kind of like, like lose steam after one goal, but I think that there was just something magical last night between the whole lineup and the rosters. Both benches were chippy. Like Huberdeau kept going after Mangiapane. I truly don't know what was said, but Gudbrandson, like, he threw a couple good hits. Zadorov, I'm not mentioning him a lot because he didn't do anything that was like bad. He really played well, and I think that between the chirpiness and the physicality of the lines and the benches rather, really let the let Zadorov do his thing and not, he wasn't getting penalized for taking cheap shots or anything like that. So it's big steps, big steps. Hopefully, like I said, this isn't a fluke. I will happily eat my words any time that they want to start performing like this again. I There was never a moment where I had like my hands in my head, like my head in my hands, like, oh my God, like what is wrong with this team? Normally when a goal is let up, it's because of them, and it's very frustrating. But in all honesty, I between rooting for these teams and whatnot. Like you you have to be impressed. Like you can't tell me that they didn't play well. And I'm very hopeful that this continues, when they play the Oilers on Saturday. It's the first Battle of Alberta on Saturday. So you know that it's going to be intense. You know that Draisaitl more than likely has a chip on his shoulder. You know that Connor McDavid is going to try to squeeze one by you. By one, I mean multiple. And I want to see the same performance from this team, especially Gudbranson and Zadorov. So, you know, there there's more opportunities to play stronger and better hockey starting after Saturday, because we're back to a regular every few days of hockey schedule. We're not getting these long breaks in between. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. I think that it's very easy to just evaluate them, see what other people are saying, and when they post their fun player card stats, I definitely would follow JJ from the Barn Burner podcast. He is James Johnson YYC on Twitter. He always posts really good charts and information. Same with Flash. I believe it's Flash_33. Heavy analytics guys, and it's really nice to see them break it down. So they're making it make sense. So coming up today, we are going to wrap up the show with some vintage Johnny and Monty talk. And is it time to break up the first line? Was last night an indication that it's time to reunite the two best friends? But first, BetOnline AG has everything you need to bet on sports. Sports, reality TV, politics, whatever your heart desires, they have it. And BetOnline AG has a new website design layout, and they are happy to show you all of the live updates, props, bets, you name it, they've got it. And it is very easy to navigate, which is my favorite part about the website, honestly. The interface is great, and they're offering you a 50% welcome bonus when you sign up today and use promo code locked on. So all you have to do is go online, phone or computer, tablet, iPad, whatever, your choice, BetOnline AG, and make that first deposit, make your first account, 50% welcome bonus with promo code locked on. It's that simple. Get on your bets. Playoff football's happening. March Madness is right around the corner. Basketball, hockey, they have it all. So head on over to BetOnline AG today. Sign up for that free account. Make your first deposit and make sure to put in promo code locked on for your 50% welcome bonus. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into Locked On Flames. Make sure that you are subscribed and rating the show wherever you get your podcasts. Is it time to break up the first line? We saw last night that Johnny and Monahan, Johnny and Monty, the two best friends, that dynamic duo that was once such a main attraction to this team, is back. Vintage. We saw like blast from the past, flash from the past, you name it. Posing this question kind of physically pains me. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be brutally honest. Mainly because I think that there's a lot at risk here when it comes to shuffling the lines around. And number one, you're losing your top line. And is there anyone ready to kind of make that leap? Could you slot Mangiapane up there and maybe have Gaudreau, Monahan, and Coleman on a line and, kind of see what gets done? However, Sutter may want to look into breaking up that top line so Monahan can keep going and get going. I think that shuffling the lines is creating a risk that you're going to, I preach consistency on this show, so breaking it up would just be something that I feel like very against, but it may be worth it to do it to get Sean Monahan going and to show, maybe boost his trade stocks just a little, his trade value just a little. But like I said, Monahan had 2 goals last night. That is huge. And Gaudreau had 4 points. Monahan was locked in for the full 60 minutes, and it was the best game that he'd played all season. Literally the best game he has played since before the bubble. I'm going to be entirely honest. And I think that it could be worth it. Like they're, high risk or low risk, high reward sort of situation. But you have to look at it and see, is it worth it, especially when your team played as well as they did with the lines last night And if you do, maybe you just do it for a shift or two. Like, you're not making it a permanent decision. Double shifting Johnny would, I don't know how that would go. I don't think that would be quite worth it, but you might be able to get away with throwing Mangiapane up there and then bumping Johnny down for a shift or two, see how it looks, and then, the leash can't be too long when it comes to that, because you're playing with fire. And I don't want this, I never want this team to get too comfortable in a situation where they feel like they can, like, relax. We talked about that yesterday too, so definitely check out yesterday's episode, wherever you're listening to this. But it is so important for this team to stay in a routine. I think of them as like children who need to, like, okay, wake ups at 6:30, nap times at 9:30. Like, and you find like the same activities to do every single day. So they have a routine so they can succeed, and you're avoiding meltdowns. And the Flames kind of need that. So could you maybe, sure. Probably not against the Oilers. I don't think it would be worth breaking that out against the division rivals. Just not, maybe not a Saturday night primetime hockey game against your biggest rivals. just my 2 cents. I think I don't know. I want to see at least another game out of Sean Monahan. It does not have to be as strong. He doesn't have to put up 3 goals next game. He doesn't have to have a dang hat trick in order to, like, get my approval. But I want to see him play at the level and intensity that he played last night in order for him to maybe be bumped up to the second line center and to maybe take a shift or two with Johnny. I don't want to rush into anything, because what you have right now, what you had yesterday, is clearly working. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's just my humble opinion. And like I said, that second line right now, Mangiapane, Backlund, and Coleman, that needs to stay. Whether it be a second or a third line, it needs to stay. And I want to see how that works again as your second line on Saturday, because you're going to need that kind of power going up against the Oilers. And I think that your top 6 will definitely bring that to you and will 200% just annihilate the Oilers defensively. They're not strong defensively. But we'll talk about more about the Oilers later this week. It's already Wednesday. Hard to believe it. But thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Flames. You can find me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. You can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever you're listening to it, please make sure that you are leaving a 5-star rating and a review. You can now rate shows on Spotify, which is awesome. And make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you ever want to tune in and watch along with me. I know personally I listen to a lot of my podcasts, not mine, but like Crime Weekly, I listen to on YouTube instead of Spotify, because I appreciate the visual aesthetic that it gives. And you can tune in and see Mr. Krabs and my ocean driftwood candle today. So I think that is a fair trade-off. So thank you all again so much for listening to Locked On Flames, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I will see you all tomorrow, and have a great day.